Birds are around us everywhere we go, from the distant mountains to the bustling cities. Yet most of us never take notice of them. Birds have played a significant role in our culture, our art, and our scientific exploration. From symbols of peace to crests of war and figures of burden. Deep-rooted practices of tradition and the evolution of natural study. All of these endeavors have remained relatively obscure to the daily lives of the common public. However, it remains certain that through these aspects of society, all of us can connect to nature and discover science through unique means that stand out in their strength to other routes of personal growth and exploration. It is clear through the experiences of those who have had the opportunity to interact with or work alongside birds that these animals inspire a garnered respect and diligent attention from people. Helen MacDonald, a falconer and author of the international bestseller H is for Hawk, is dedicated to sharing this intimate connection with birds. In her words, she explains this instinct for respect as a deep understanding to the ability and needs of these birds, but also the perception of their history and the weight of their tranquil presence. What's even more revealing is how this wonder and emotional bond forms in even the most unlikely of situations. In a story published by the National Audubon Society in their magazine, the prevailing passion and sympathy for birds is exemplified over their nuisance. In a population explosion caused by the ban of the devastating chemical DDT in 1972, double-crested cormorants in Astoria, Oregon, have become a concern, with their largest colony being situated on a major bridge nearby the route of protected juvenile fish. Although an array of involved specialists like photographer Morgan Heim, Audubon Seabird Institute director Don Lyons, and Rehabilitation Center curator Melissa Colvin works to amend this situation and acknowledge the harms caused by the cormorants, each note the greater admiration and tolerance that should be given to the birds, and impact rationalization and empathetic morality. However, the appreciation of birds doesn't have to come from those who are well versed and committed to their scientific and historical stories. Even in a survey taken of Green Level High School students reported that, although many do not actively study nor know of the study of birds, most felt a sense of curiosity and wonder to their presence. They also understood the value of conserving this beauty, despite their acknowledgement of the understatement of discussing bird conservation in society. It is not in scientific exploration purely that this relationship with birds has been founded. These bonds of respect trace back to years of human history and tradition. In Mongolia, the practice of hunting with golden eagles is one that has been passed down through generations of nomadic tribes for over 4,000 years. These eagles are given to descendants as young as 13, working the next 10 years to bond with and train their eagle. After hunting together for a third of the eagle's life, Mongolian hunters release their birds to live the rest of their lives freely. Even in this parting, The relationship that was fostered between the two forces remains ever apparent. The mourning of their farewells described as akin to the loss of a family member. In the Middle East, falconry has also been practiced for thousands of years. However, primarily, the practice has been uptaken for the racing of falcons. Also ensuring to release their birds for natural breeding, the compassion for these birds delves into a great appreciation and nurturing of a personal connection and reward of working with birds, but also a fine understanding of the needs of the natural world. The history of birds and the path of science in cultures across the globe is extensive. However, these relationships have not developed mutually exclusive from one another. The overlap in the interests of cultural traditions and wildlife conservation is one that produces some of the most profound effects. To the Native American Yurok tribe in the Pacific Northwest, California condors represent a significant part of their spiritual culture. Condor feathers obtained when the birds naturally drop them are held as artifacts used in traditional ceremonies and dances and are passed down through generations. The effects of habitat loss, lead poisoning, and DDT. Only 22 condors were left to be captured in the 1980s for a recovery breeding program. Following the suppression of Yurok culture, where many children were denied their right to learn their native language and culture, the Yurok Condor Restoration Program acts to work alongside scientific conservation to restore California condor populations for the revitalization of Yurok traditions and the ecological significance of the species recovery. Admiration for birds and their study is an aspect of society that is proving to progress itself into the future rather than to sit in the rich depths of its past. In Middle Eastern falconry, women have begun uptaking their traditional practice, some even excelling to place in flight competitions. Although women in Mongolia have also participated in traditional eagle hunting, as the old world practice begins to decline in newer generations, only around 10 women still hunt alongside eagles. This is why it's important that we continue to foster this human love of birds and share such vibrant passions. However, this is certainly not a failing effort. Places like North Carolina that act as hotspots for ornithology, or the study of birds, house vast numbers of rehabilitation centers and passionate groups like our Green Level Ornithology Club. As we move ever closer to the future of this world, it is critical that if we value the vast opportunities birds offer us, that we come together to explore the joy they bring to all of us.